pounds or something.
I don't feel like I've lost any weight, maybe, but I definitely feel better.
Are you on Ozempic?
I'm not. I've just been making it a point to regularly either go to the gym or go on the Peloton or ride my bike, and I feel better. And I'm just eating better.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Well, because here's the thing. I've been on one fad diet after another or doing some crazy, insane challenge, and I'll have a dramatic weight loss, but then it flies back on. So the idea is, live a balanced lifestyle, right? You can have a sweet every once in a while, but just don't go crazy. I've given up my rolled gold tiny twist habit, which is I used to have a bag in the car. Drinking plenty of water, and I feel a tremendous amount. I feel a lot better. Well, I don't know that I look any better.
You have not lost the weight that she has lost, but man, as long as you feel better, that's really what you should be worried about. Yeah.
Maybe I should try that Ozempic.
So I looking up. It does look like Diaz for the Mets is going to get a 10-game. It'll be announced today. He's getting a 10-game suspension, and the umpire is saying, "Listen, it wasn't resin and sweat. I've been doing this long enough, and I've checked thousands," says the umpire, and he is saying that it'll be a 10-game suspension.
He's in trouble.
Now, how much does that affect the Mets? Not really, to be honest with you, because he's just gotten back to the point where he's been somewhat effective. So they have been playing without him. Mets, by the way, Davey, hottest team in Major League Baseball right now. Now, there is somebody was out on ESPN saying, that's okay, you just keep an eye, they're going to collapse very soon.
Oh, jeez.
So let's see what happens.
And they will.
How'd the Yankees do over the weekend, Davey?
We lost 2 or 3 to the Braves.
Okay, all right.
We lost 7 of 10 of the last
Well,
games.
That's just a thing. They'll get back, right?
But we still have the best record in
You're still there. League, yeah, you're still there. You're still there.
Yeah.
All right. Also this morning, we will be speaking with Donna Donovan. We talked about the OD when we talked to her last week. This week, it really is about the barriers that the glass ceiling, if you will, that she busted through back in the 80s and 90s. Breaking barriers when it comes to women in the workplace.
Yeah.
Not only women in the workplace, but women in leisure as well.
That's correct.
Because some of that, and I believe there's a story about a local bar that didn't allow women at one point in the 80s, and in Utica, and also the Yanadassus, maybe the Fort Schuyler Club. I mean, all of these organizations were basically male only. And she broke down those barriers. We'll speak with her coming up in a little bit as well. So stand by. Coming up, Andrew with an update on the news here. It's a Monday morning. Feels like it's been all week already this morning. It's a Monday morning at WIBX.
Hello, Utica. This is Carrie Paleo, Executive Director of the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. I'm really excited to introduce more fantastic new businesses that have recently become a part of our thriving community. Here in Utica, we're not just growing, we are flourishing. Be sure to support our new businesses and our local economy.
Air City Cannabis, 17070 Oriskany Street West, Utica. Renegade Boxing, 310 Broad Street, Utica. Gold Mine 2, 4662 Commercial Drive, New Hartford.
Please join the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce in welcoming these new businesses. Here we grow again.
Need a great deal on a bed and low on cash? Come to Mattress Express. Put no money down. Take up to 60 months to pay for qualified buyers on anything in the store. Massage chairs, mattresses, etc. $1,500 or higher.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platform is highly addictive and causes eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text POWER to 323232. Text the word POWER to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice attorney Donald A. Migliori is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice, LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, 29464.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And the matcha latte you can get a hold of, which is just incredibly delicious. You want to check that out. And, of course, breakfast sandwiches, donuts. They have over 13 flavors of lattes. And, of course, when it's hot, where last week was probably the longest heat wave I think we've experienced.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember anything, even the weekend where we weren't in the 90s. It felt like it was 100 degrees with that humidity. Nonetheless, those iced coffees make the world go around that much better. And it is, of course, a very fast drive-through, Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. In Herkimer County, things are happening. 51st Annual Forge Festival of Arts and Crafts will happen July 4th, which, if you're keeping track, is next week.
It's always a good time in Old Forge on the 4th of July because of the fireworks of the lake.
Always is. 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. in Old Forge. That'll happen. Over 30 vendors, crafters, foodie wineries, breweries, artisans, etc. Elsewhere in Herkimer County, it's hot out. Great way to stay cool this summer is visiting your local libraries. Herkimer County offers 13 local libraries that are air-conditioned and sponsor daily events. And the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs having a baseball camp July 9th through the 11th, 9 a.m. till noon at Veterans Memorial Park in Little Falls, which is a beautiful field. Boys and girls ages 6 to 15 can participate. It is happening in Herkimer County.
You know what else is happening in this studio is... Participate. YouTube is back on.
Oh, it is working.
The audio appears to be working.
Oh, it does. Okay.
And maybe through the board, so we'll have to see when we go to break.
Okay. All right. Well, that is wonderful.
Thank you, Dave Chandler.
We have news with Andrew. We'll do that right now. And then, of course, we'll speak with Donna Donovan. And the whole Bike of Free Money question is coming up as well on WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:30. I'm Andrew Dermenio. Right now we have 60 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Things are starting to clear up. Your full weather forecast in minutes. Senator John Mannion is facing some allegations. He's denying claims he helped create a hostile work environment in his office. Several staff members wrote a letter and posted it online saying Mannion and his wife were both sexist and verbally abusive towards them. Mannion says these allegations are part of a smear campaign ahead of a vote tomorrow that will decide if he or fellow Democrat Sarah Clee Hood will face 22nd District Congressman Brandon Williams in November. The New York State Senate is looking into the case. Syracuse police say they're continuing to investigate a woman's death as a homicide. The uncle of 21-year-old Jocelyn Tokiza tells the Post-Standard it was the body of his niece that was discovered Saturday on Hawley Avenue. However, police have yet to confirm the woman's identity. Tokiza has been reported missing for several days, and her uncle says she moved here from Ecuador last year. Authorities are asking anyone with information to come forward. The New York State Department of Health has issued an important alert for Central New York. The agency says a high-potency sedative used in veterinary medicine was recently found in Syracuse. The drug impacts the central nervous system, and it can be dangerous if combined with other substances like fentanyl. Anyone who's struggling with addiction can get help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by contacting the New York State Hope Line. Central New York drivers are still seeing a dip in gas prices when it comes time to fuel up. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is now $3.55. That's down 2 cents in the last week and is also 11 cents less than what motorists were paying at this time last month. Right now, the state average is $3.58 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.44. And the Florida Gators are adding the world's tallest teenager to their men's basketball roster. Canadian center Oliver Rue is part of the Gators' incoming freshman class for the upcoming season. The 18-year-old is 7 foot 9 inches tall and has been named by Guinness World Records as the tallest living teenager. That could make him the tallest college basketball player ever, an honor which is currently held by 7 foot 8 Paul Sturgis, who played at Florida Tech. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:32. Your weather forecast is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. For today, we can expect a few rain showers, maybe a thunderstorm, otherwise cloudy skies with a high in the low 70s. Patchy fog expected overnight with clear skies and a low in the mid-50s. Then tomorrow, patchy fog in the morning. Otherwise, sunny skies with a high in the mid to upper 80s. What a roller coaster of temperatures we'll see this week. Right now, it's 61 under partly cloudy skies at 7:33.
Okay, let's do Hobica's Free Money question of the day. Davey, are you prepared? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Looking for caller number what this morning?
Caller number 7.
It is your chance, ultimately, of $150 between Laundra Lottery and Hobica's Free Money question. Great question coming up. 7th caller right now at 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you get 1 free.
Wait, Scott, what did you say?
Jill, it's the buy 2, get 1 free sale, our best sale of the year.
But Scott, it's summer. That's the offer we make in the winter.
Right. Well, I guess that one's on me because I just told the team that this year's independent sale is buy 2 windows, get 1 free.
So that means customers can buy 4 windows and get 2 free, or 6 windows and get 3 free?
Exactly. There's no end to the savings, and it's easy to take advantage of this offer. Just stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center this week. Browse our selection and save.
But it's for a limited time, right, Scott?
That's right. Stop in or call this week, and you'll lock in our most popular offer of the year. Buy 2 windows, get 1 free during the independent sale at New York Sash.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, and as always, let our family take care of your family.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platform is highly addictive and causes eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text POWER to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text POWER to 323232. Text the word POWER to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice attorney Donald A. Migliori is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Paid actor portrayal.
Dude, guess how much I pay for $1 million term life insurance policy?
Gotta be at least $150 a month.
Nope. I got coverage through Ethos all online for less than $70 a month and no medical exam. Just answered a few health questions.
That's impressive. I'm shocked you have life insurance.
Wait, don't you? You have a wife and kids. What if something happens to you? With Ethos, you can start your coverage the same day.
Wow. I'm sold.
Get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Need a great deal on a bed and low on cash? Come to Mattress Express, put no money down, take up to 60 months to pay for qualified buyers on anything in the store. Massage chairs, mattresses, etc. $1,500 or higher.
Scott Hayes here from New York Sash with my good friend Bill Keeler.
Hey, Scott, we love New York Sash windows so much that we're getting 4 more installed this month. How about we bring back the Win Keeler's Windows Contest?
Last year, we gave away 4 windows to a local homeowner. This year, we'll give away another 4, the same as we're installing for you, Bill.
Enter at NewYorkSash.com/Keeler or click on Keeler at WIBX950.com. No purchase necessary. We'll pick a winner at the end of June.
It's Win Keeler's Windows.
From New York Sash and WIBX.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay. By the way, thank you to Dave out there, our engineer. The audio is up and running on YouTube.
And it sounds amazing.
And it sounds good. Let's give somebody a chance at 100 and then 50 here this morning for a grand total from the Obeika Law Firm of $150. Gary is on the line right now in Rome. Hello, Gary. Good morning. How you doing?
Bill. Good, yourself?
Good. You ready to go?
I am.
All right. Here is your question. You're going to have 7 seconds to answer. Andrew, you're ready as well?
Always.
Here it is. When the Chicago Cubs played their first night game at home, this team is the team they played. Ready, go. When they played their...
New York Mets.
You're going to go with the Mets. A little obvious, don't you think?
Yes.
It was the New York Mets. Very nice. Very nice. You won. But it's not over yet. You still have a chance to add another 50 to it. You know the deal. With Laundro Lottery, I bring my mom in. There are clothespins that go into her into her laundry, into her dryer, and you have a chance to pick between 1 and 30. What are you coming up with?
17.
17.
All right, 17's the number.
Let's go to my mom, who's ready to go. Mom,
good morning again, Mrs. Keeler.
Good morning.
Another week of joy and happiness.
So what was the reaction when you got that call, Mrs. Keeler?
You mean this call right here?
Yeah. You knew we were going to go at it again this week.
Yeah.
She's hoping for a vacation, though. What number did you pick again, Gary? What was his number?
17.
17. All right, we're looking for 17. Mom, here we go. Three numbers come out.
Okay, here we go.
Love that sound.
It's kind of like when you hear the Jeopardy sound and you know that it's Final Jeopardy.
Or the slot machine.
Yeah. All right, round it goes.
All right, we just need 117.
29.
29.
Nope, not that one.
Number. Second number.
That Mike.
24.
All right. And we're looking for
15.
15.
Oh, it was so close.
All right, Gary. Well, listen, you still walked away with $100 plus the $25 gift card, the all-in-one food and fun card. Thank you. Stand by. Mom, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And Gary, Davey has you coming up, so stand by. Nice job.
Thanks very much, Phil.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you. The Mets were the first team to play the Chicago Cubs when the lights came on at Wrigley.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. And in
You
studio,
did say it was a very doable question.
totally doable. Totally, right? You'd assume that I would pick a Mets question. You just kind of have that feeling, right? In studio right now is Donna Donovan. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Good to see you again.
So glad to have you in studio with us.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank
you.
The last time we spoke, we had a chance to talk about the Observer Dispatch. But here, this time, I thought maybe we just focus on
you.
On it hasn't been that long since women could be a member at the Onondagas. Or I think the Fort Schuyler Club had a history as well.
The Fort Schuyler Club was different, though. They actually invited me.
Oh, they did.
And I give kudos to Judge Anthony Garamone, who came to me one day and said, would you honor us by being one of our first women members?
Wow.
And he invited myself and B. Denmark from Bev's downtown. And the Fort Schuyler Club was extremely welcoming.
That's awesome. Now the Onondagas, not so much.
They were not so welcoming. It was 10 years later. I'd kind of tromped around the country, and I had faced similar problems at country clubs wherever I went as publisher. And some of them saw the light quicker than others, and the Onondagas didn't. And
What year was that?
91.
1991.
Wow.
Prior to that, a woman could not be a member and couldn't even. Is it true you couldn't play? At one point, you couldn't play golf there.
Well, women were able to play golf. Wives of members were restricted as to what hours they could play.
Wow.
And so there were limits. I think the big difference for me was that I was a married woman.
Okay.
And when they sent my application in, as was done with every publisher before me, it was just roll over the certificate. We have a new publisher. And they said.
So every OD or Daily Press publisher would automatically, you would get a membership at the Onondagas.
Correct. It was part of your benefits package.
But you were a woman.
And they sent the application back to our controller and said, tell her to resubmit this in her husband's name.
Wow.
And he was as shocked as I was because it wasn't his benefit, it was mine. And we tried to get them to see the light, and they didn't. And so Bob Julian called me and said, would you like to take this on? And I said, sure, what the heck? It's been too many years and too many battles have been fought.
That is, that. So did it go to court?
They settled.
They settled.
We had found certain things that were actually not good for the Onondagas. They had accepted federal money for flood mitigation on the back nine, which kind of moved them out of a private club range. They had hosted public events, and they did not want to lose their status as a private club. And so they came to us with a settlement offer, which we accepted and turned into a scholarship at Utica University.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and you were allowed to be a member?
Well, I had to go before a vote of the membership.
Wow.
And from what I understand, they had never before had a full membership vote on an applicant for membership. Before
Normally, it wasn't a big deal. Somebody
it went before the board of directors.
Yeah.
I mean, in the past, there had been discrimination against Italians, against Jewish people, but this one, they brought the entire membership together, and I guess it was a very hot and heavy meeting from what I was told. And at the end of the meeting, the board convened and they said, oh, okay, she does buy ink by the barrel. I guess we'll let her in.
Yeah. You were the right one. You were the right one to fight that battle.
Well, I tell you, for when we would go there afterwards, my boys were really little, and we would go to the pool. And all the way over in the car, I'd be saying to them, no running, no jumping.
That's right.
Don't do anything that might get me in trouble.
Yeah.
I know they were just looking for. I mean, they probably you had a target on your back for quite some time.
Yes. And then after that, I did find if I'd go out to play on a Saturday morning, some gentleman in front of me would purposefully slow down to make me wait. okay, if that's how they're getting their jollies, all right.
Yeah.
And then after a while, people became extremely welcoming. And it's now a wonderful place to be a member of. Lots of families.
You would never even know. You would not even know. But it is, I have to say that.
I know they've got women leagues now and everything there.
Yes. Well, I think they had those leagues before, but again, they were for wives of members. And women could not vote. Now, if you're the woman member, and there are several women who hold the certificate instead of their husbands, and they can vote on the board membership and vote on rules and regulations and things like that.
If you let one in, then they're all going to want to come in.
That's the trouble. I mean, the barriers come down, and what the heck is coming to this world?
Yeah. Wasn't there a story too, and we'll get to you becoming a publisher, because that was a big deal too. I think you said last week you were one of 13.
Well, when I became editor, I was one of 13 women editors in Gannett. Gannett was a trailblazer in advancing women and providing opportunities for women.
Wasn't there somebody said there was a bar, there was an issue where a bar that would not serve a woman.
Yes, that's
true.
All
right.
And that's actually where my husband proposed.
Oh, nice.
And that's the Uptown Grill.
The Uptown
and the
Grill.
old Uptown Grill near where the South Utica Price Chopper is.
Yep.
And women could not sit at the bar. Wow. You could go in and you could dine in the dining room, but you could not go to the bar. But he, being the romantic that he is, chose the Uptown Grill to propose to me.
So,
That's awesome.
Did you make changes? How did you deal with the fact that a woman could not be at the bar there?
I really didn't make a big deal about things that I didn't think were really important.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to work through other people who might have been members or might have been at the bar and say, this is kind of embarrassing, and we really should be more progressive in our community.
It is amazing. So I have a daughter who is, and my wife tells me these stories too, when these issues come up as part of the curriculum and they're talking about whether it be, I think a lot of times it comes up during Martin Luther King and during that month of, what was that, January? Mm-hmm. Anyway, where some of the discriminations are talked about as part of New York State curriculum in schools. And the young girls are shocked to find out that a woman couldn't vote up until whatever year that happened. But that's shocking.
It is.
And you say that to a young, second, third grader,
yeah,
they don't understand because the world is not that way today.
They don't understand that women could go to college and you could go to a college with boys. They don't understand all of the battles that were fought in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And sadly, in some places are still being fought.
Yeah. So when you became editor, that was a big deal.
It was a big deal, and I was replacing a gentleman named Gil Smith, who had been editor for a long time, was an older gentleman. And I remember when the publisher at the time introduced me, Gil burst out, "She's just a girl." And he had a hard time dealing with this because I was replacing him.
Yeah.
And
how old were you at that time, can I ask?
28.
Okay.
So I was just a girl.
Yeah.
And it was difficult for him because he had been replaced in his job by a young woman. But still then, it was unusual for a woman in that position. People in the newsroom were extremely welcoming. In the community, a little less so. Certain people still stand out in my mind at having been absolutely phenomenal. And to this day, I cherish them for their willing to stand up. But there were others that had a very difficult time.
And what year was this?
This was 81.
1981. Wow.
Yeah, this was 81.
I mean, it was a long time ago, but it wasn't a long time ago.
No. And I still remember one day I was sitting in my office and our production director brought around a whole bunch of gentlemen from China because we had state-of-the-art production equipment that was just being introduced. Mm-hmm. And he pointed at me in my office and he said, "And that's our editor. And she's a girl." And they were all in awe that there was a woman in the position. But I think we've lost some ground. I do think that we're at a position in time where women are going to have to step up again and say, no, doggone it, this is our right, and we do have the right to fight for it.
Are you talking about reproductive rights and that sort of thing, or are you talking about just rights in the workplace?
Just rights in the workplace.
Yeah.
Just rights in the workplace.
Go ahead.
I do not believe that abortion is right. I
you're
am a pro-life person,
pro-life.
and that is something very
Did you
dear
write
to
about
me.
that? Did you write about that? I'm sure you did.
I wrote about that in Burlington, Vermont, and a crowd of several hundred showed up outside my office. I think they were ready to stone me when I left.
So here's the woman that fought to become an equal in the workplace, and is not willing to stand up doesn't believe in abortion.
And I do believe that as a woman, that is my right.
Yeah.
That is my right to say that I believe that life begins at conception, and that I can stand up for that. And I should not be bullied into having to have a certain point of view because of my gender.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. And then how did so this is all happening in the early 80s, and oftentimes though a news publisher or editor is going to take some heat, and you did take some heat. I remember throwing a little your way when I was on
I know,
the radio.
but that was actually one of the proudest moments for Bill, I think, is when you gave the stamp of approval at his IBX tenure.
Well, there were many that were like ready to cancel advertising, and
Oh yes.
I was not welcomed by everyone here. But it is what it is.
It is, and if you're in a position that people perceive as a position of power, and anything in the media is perceived as a position of power because you have influence over other people, and you're able to generate and share ideas, then folks that don't agree with you are going to use whatever weapon they have at their hands.
At what point, or did it become a point, were they attacking you because of their disagreement with you as a publisher or an editor, or were they attacking you because you're a woman? Do you think it came a point where it wasn't about being a woman?
No, it stayed as a point of being about being a woman for a long, long time. I remember one day getting an angry call from somebody who didn't like something we had published and said, well, what are you going to expect from a menopausal woman? And I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter at the time. Wow. And I thought I could only hope for menopause at this point because this was not at all what it was. And I started to laugh. That's what frustrated people the most. Mm-hmm. I do like to laugh a lot. And when people would insult me or say something, and I would find the humor in it, that drove them crazy.
Yeah. And Andrew's grandfather?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Worked at the Observer-Dispatch for
Yes,
many
Ed
years.
Ruffing was a wonderful police reporter. He was the old school. He had his ear to the ground on everything. He was fantastic.
And the interesting thing about my grandfather was, even though he gave up drinking very, younger in his life, and never drank after that, he still never drove. So it's interesting. Either Nancy Ford, our friend, would pick him up and take him to a story, or the police would pick him up, or he'd find a way to get there. So
that's wild.
Yeah,
it's just listening to the stories. I was 6 years old when he passed away, but I have very vivid memories of him. But it's always nice to hear the stories about my grandfather from other people. It really is nice.
Oh yeah, he was a real reporter. He was a reporter's reporter.
And in fact, it's always an honor. Every year, the UPD has their award ceremony, and they give an award in his memory, his and Ken Schaff's memory, to the Superior Officer of the Year. So that's always a great time to go and see that. So
pretty amazing, right? How far we've come. But then again, here we were last week, and we can talk a little bit about it. How we've just lost a lot of that local news. We've lost bodies, so many bodies in the news world, that it's definitely affecting us.
It's a very, very sad time. And I was reading, when I was waiting to come on, I was reading the announcement of WIBX going on the air in 1926, I think it was. And it was the local page. There was a full local page.
Yeah.
And there were stories on everything, including the Observer-Dispatch Baby Parade, which was coming up, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah.
But I was reading that, and there were so many local stories, and I thought, they're still out there.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything from corruption in government to a local organization giving away scholarships. It is everything under the sun. It's all about people.
Yeah.
And we're losing that sense of people in our community.
We and so there was, Utica had 2 newspapers, and then each community had communities had their own newspapers as well, though, which really dealt with a lot of the very deep local news from, the ribbon cut, every
Yes.
ribbon, all that stuff. But you had the evening. I grew up in the Valley, so you had the Evening Telegram and the Evening Times. Both bought. Well, I guess they bought the OD, right? Isn't that how?
No. Oh gosh.
Because I think Gatehouse was there before. I think Gatehouse owned the Telegram before they owned the Observer Dispatch.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And so we were brought then into the fold.
Yeah.
But I remember back when there was the Observer Dispatch in the evening and the Daily Press in the morning.
Yeah.
And the newsroom desks were shaped like L's. And one set of desks, one set of drawers was for the Observer Dispatch reporter and the other was for the Daily Press reporter. And they were locked at the end of the day. It was the cleanest newsroom I'd ever been in because the police reporter for the OD did not want the police reporter for the Daily Press to know what he or she was working on.
So there still was that competition.
It was wonderful, though.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
saw this great spirit, and you had 24/7 news reporting back before there was 24/7 news reporting.
And it's funny because I think you still have that here in this building. So if the Frog is doing something they don't want anybody to know about because they're going to launch something, I mean, you still get that competition here. But it is no longer the case. Now, the Evening Telegram, by the way, gone. The Evening Times, gone. So it all is under one umbrella. The OD, and there are, in the newsroom, maybe 4 people work there?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I have a lot of friends from the OD that I still get together with, but I'm not really tuned into exactly
But
what they have.
it is, and I know the Sentinel is doing their best to, and I think they're doing a really good job. And the fact that they're locally owned is probably the only reason we have that luxury. But at the same time, it's still not the same. We're still not printing locally. We're still not delivering first thing in the morning. All of that seems to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, and literally hundreds of jobs have been lost.
Yeah.
Because at one time, the Observer Dispatch employed more than 300 people when I was there.
Wow.
And I think now they're down to fewer than 20.
Yeah.
That's hundreds of jobs that were lost in the local community.
And hundreds of stories that are not told anymore. So.
Yes. That is true.
And then finally, I got about a minute here. I sometimes people were very angry, and you talked about that. They get very angry at you, or very angry at the paper because a picture was published, or but a lot went into making the decision to publish or not publish something.
Yes.
And a lot of journalistic criteria was used.
Yes.
I find that doesn't exist anymore.
No, well, you need to have a give and take, and every day there would be a couple of news meetings going on, and the editors and the reporters would get together, and they would talk about what we were going to run. And, for example, when the
I'm going to give you 15 seconds. I hate to do that
Oklahoma
to
City
you.
bombing and that little baby was carried out of the building, did you run that picture or not? Those kinds of decisions were made on a daily basis.
Let's do this more. Thank you. Donna Donovan, we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
First woman we've had in studio. Oh, that's not true. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. News is coming up next on WIBX. That's not going to fire?
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950.
It's back to court for Trump lawyers. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. For the second of 3 days of hearings in Florida, as the former president tries to get a federal judge to dismiss the classified documents case, while he gets ready for the CNN presidential debate Thursday, his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, tells Fox...
He is not nervous. He knows that whenever he talks about his vision for the future of America, it will resonate with the people of this country.
President Biden not even here at the White House this week. He's been hunkered down with aides at Camp David, the presidential retreat in Maryland, in the Maryland mountains, to prepare for that CNN presidential debate. On Friday, the president will hold a rally in North Carolina. Meanwhile, the White House facing some questions about the promotion of a new press aide, someone named Tyler Cherry, who's handling the president's climate agenda. According to our colleagues at Fox Digital, Cherry once tweeted that police are, quote, the direct evolution of slave patrols and lynch mobs. He wrote on X, apologizing, past social media posts from when I was younger do not reflect my current views.
As Fox's David Spund, Israel's defense ministers come to the U.S. for talks on the war in Gaza, and his fears grow that Hezbollah attacks from Lebanon could lead to a war there as well. Russia's been hit by another terror attack targeting houses of worship, at least 19 people killed.
The shootings took place in Russia's southern Republic of Dagestan. 6 gunmen were killed by security forces, according to the area's governor. It's just 3 months since an attack on a concert hall in Moscow left 145 people dead. ISIS claimed responsibility, but authorities accused Ukraine and the West of involvement.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. There's flooding in several states, Minnesota to Iowa to South Dakota, where one person was killed. 2 people are dead in wildfires that have scorched New Mexico, destroying hundreds of homes and businesses. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham tells CBS Face the Nation.
It's been really tough on New Mexicans, and I'm grateful to every first responder.
America's listening to Fox News.
You know, since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The Supreme Court will issue more rulings Wednesday, with several cases left to decide before this term ends. Among them, former President Trump's claim he should be immune from prosecution for acts taken while in office as he appeals the federal 2020 election interference indictment. Now, there's also an abortion rights case. Today marks 2 years since an even bigger abortion ruling.
On June 24th, 2022, the Supreme Court announced its ruling in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, overturning Roe v. Wade, which had made abortion legal in the U.S. since 1973. Abortion is now banned at all stages of pregnancy, with limited exceptions in 14 Republican-controlled states. 3 other states banned it after about the first 6 weeks. The issue has also made its way to the ballot. Voters in at least 4 states have ballot measures on it this year, and there are attempts to put abortion access to voters in 4 others, including Missouri, the site of one of the first so-called trigger bans that went into effect immediately after the Dobbs ruling. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, it could be a mixed start to trading. Stock futures up for the Dow, down slightly for the NASDAQ. At the gas pump,
gasoline prices continued falling in the past 2 weeks. It was a drop of a nickel, down to $3.53 per gallon.
But industry analyst Tribbley Lundberg says the rise in oil prices lately could end that trend. AAA's national average for regular is less than hers at $3.44 per gallon. Jeopardy fans will like this. A new stamp honoring Alex Trebek.
The stamps are laid out in a grid that looks a lot like the array of video monitors that form the Jeopardy game board. On the stamp is written the prompt, "This naturalized U.S. citizen hosted the quiz show Jeopardy for 37 seasons." And underneath, upside down, is the correct response. Who is Alex Trebek?
That's Fox's Jill Nato. Trebek died in 2020. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 8:05. I'm Andrew Domenio. This update brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. State Senator John Mannion is denying claims he helped create a hostile work environment in his office. Several staff members wrote a letter and posted it online saying Mannion and his wife were both sexist and verbally abusive towards them. Mannion says these allegations are part of a smear campaign ahead of a vote tomorrow that will decide if he or fellow Democrat Sarah Clee Hood will face 22nd District Congressman Brandon Williams in November. The New York State Senate is looking into the case. The New York State Department of Health has issued an important alert for the central New York region. The agency says a high-potency sedative used in veterinary medicine was recently found in Syracuse. This drug impacts the central nervous system, and it can be dangerous if combined with other substances like fentanyl. Anyone who's struggling with addiction can get help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by contacting the New York State Helpline. Central New York drivers are still seeing a dip in gas prices. When it comes time to fuel up, according to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is now $3.55. That's down 2 cents in the past week and is also 11 cents less than what motorists were paying at this time last month. Right now, the state average is $3.58 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.44. Syracuse police say they're continuing to investigate a woman's death as a homicide. The uncle of 21-year-old Jocelyn Tokiza tells the Post-Standard it was the body of his niece that was discovered Saturday on Hawley Avenue. However, police have yet to confirm the woman's identity. Tokiza had been reported missing several days ago, and her uncle says she moved here from Ecuador last year. Authorities are asking anyone with information to come forward. And an 8-year-old Pekingese from Oregon has been named the world's ugliest dog. The annual contest was held Friday at the Marine-Sonoma County Fair in Northern California, and top honors went to the black and white Pekingese named Wild Thang, whose tongue sticks out permanently because his teeth didn't grow in properly. His biography says Wild Thang has causes that he champions and has helped to find a safe home for those types of breed living in Ukraine. It says he has already helped save 7 dogs from the war zone. It is 8:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. For today, we will see a rain shower, maybe a thunderstorm, otherwise cloudy skies with a high in the low 70s. Overnight, patchy fog, otherwise mostly clear with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, we'll see some fog in the morning, otherwise sunny skies with a high in the mid to upper 80s. Right now, 60 degrees under mostly cloudy skies at 8:08. Your sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The Stanley Cup trophy will finally make its way onto the ice Monday night. The Panthers and Oilers battle for the ultimate prize in Game 7 from Sunrise. The Cats choked away a 3-0 series lead after losing the last 3 games in a row. The Oilers are just the 3rd team in Cup final history to force a Game 7 after being down 3-0. The 1942 Maple Leafs are the only team to come back and win a Cup after dropping the first 3 games of the series. The Yankees expect one of their big bats to be out for a month. The Bronx Bombers placed designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton on the injured list due to a strained left hamstring. This is the 8th time that Stanton has landed on the IL in the last 6 seasons. The 34-year-old left Saturday's game against the Braves before having imaging done on Sunday. Stanton has missed 266 of 708 games over the past 5 seasons. He's currently hitting .246 with 18 homers and 45 RBIs this year. Speaking of the Yankees, they were unable to take care of business in the Bronx as the Braves beat them 3-1 in the rubber match from the Bronx. Nestor Cortez was charged with the loss after allowing 3 runs on 5 hits over 7 innings. For the Pinstripes, Anthony Volpe drove in the only run of the game for the Yanks with an RBI double. They're still in the lead in the AL East at 52-28. They'll visit the Mets for a 2-game set that begins tomorrow night at Citi Field. The Mets, however, captured their rubber match against the Chicago Cubs after earning a 5-2 win in the series finale from Wrigley Field. Luis Severino picked up the victory after striking out 10 batters over 6 scoreless innings. Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo slugged back-to-back home runs in the top of the 3rd. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 8:10.
All right, bunch to get to here this hour, including the Supreme Court, which is scheduled. There are still a couple of big decisions coming up, and that one on whether a president is immune from prosecution in the Trump case. But really, this is bigger than just Trump. It would be the case for all presidents going forward. That case has yet to come out. We'll talk to Ryan Schmelz in a few minutes on the cases, the big ones that are still out there that are coming this week. We'll do that in a few minutes. Hold tight, WIBX.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan.
Their joints are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful even as they age.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet similar similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend using 50 years of nutritional research and experience, helping dogs make incredible turnarounds. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Krispies, their wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
There's no glory in getting beat up on the job. Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting work done. But Ferris commercial mowers at Clinton Tractor help you finish strong and feel good doing it with patented suspension technology. Visit Clinton Tractor today for a test drive and feel the Ferris difference. Or go to clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So this NHL championship game is coming up tonight, Stanley Cup game tonight. And so this is the first time in the NHL a team has come back from being down 3-0 since, what is the answer?
1942.
Since 1942.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
It is the first time that this has occurred. So on Friday night, the Oilers were able to pull off something that hasn't been done in over a decade in sports. After starting the series down 3-0 against Florida and facing a sweep, the Oilers have won 3 straight, most recently a 5-1 win before their home crowd. Edmonton was the 211th team in NHL history to go down 3-0 in a playoff series. They're just the 10th team to come back and tie that same series at 3-3. Only 4 of those 10 came back to win the series. The only one of those was in the finals, Toronto Maple Leafs, as you said, in 1942. And in sports in general, the last team to do it was in 2014, the LA Kings, who won their first round series against the San Jose Sharks. Tonight's game is at 8 p.m., and the Stanley Cup will be determined. I got to say,
pretty amazing.
It's going to be, I mean, how do you not, if
I would love
if
to
you're
see
Edmonton, how do you not win this game?
I know
after
you
coming
have
back.
You have to.
Davey, you have all the momentum in the world.
If they do, this will be the biggest choke job in Florida Panthers history, the brief history that they've had.
Yeah, well,
the momentum's been in the Oilers' favor ever since they erupted to that 8-1 victory, and Connor McDavid is just playing one heck of a hockey right now.
Crazy. Just crazy. Ryan Schmelz on the line right now from Fox News Radio. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
We're talking about this NHL final. It's just unbelievable being down 3-0 and then coming back and forcing a Game 7. Craziness.
It's a deja vu for Yankees fans, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Brings back some bad memories.
Oh, yeah,
listen, it's fair that he's bringing that up. My smack talk didn't really go according to plan over the last series. So, Ryan, I yield to you. We're still in first place.
Oh, well, we had a great someone had a great tweet. There's an Orioles fan who works for Axios by the name of Stephen Newcomb. I think his tweet was, "Congress is out of session, but the Orioles bats are not," or something like that.
Yeah.
Congress is on recess, but the Orioles offense isn't, something along those lines.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Okay, Supreme Court. There are still some really big cases out there, right?
So we have got a couple, yes, including some that could impact former President Trump. And one of them is directly related to him because he is challenging this idea of, the DOJ prosecution of him. So he's using what's called presidential immunity, or claiming presidential immunity. So the Supreme Court is going to decide if he in fact has this. So what he's claiming is that he was acting in his official capacity as president when he was trying to investigate any irregularities when it comes to the 2020 election results, whereas the Department of Justice claims that he was trying to obstruct the peaceful transfer of power, which they believe is a prosecutorial offense. And they do not believe that he gets to claim this presidential immunity and use that. But if the court does rule in his favor, it's not just going to impact this case, but it's going to make it pretty hard to prosecute him in a number of cases that he's facing criminal charges.
And then, of course, this has a lasting effect. There's just no doubt about it, right?
No, absolutely. Well, if the court goes in his favor, he's going to be able to use this in this case. I mean, it could very well just wreck this case altogether from the prosecution's perspective. It could have the same impact down in Florida or down in
Georgia.
Where are we talking about? Yeah, Georgia, and then maybe even Florida too. I have to talk to a legal analyst about whether or not it could impact Florida too. But I mean, I'm sure it definitely gives them at least a little bit of an advantage, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the only case. But this is definitely the one that I think everyone's got their eyes on.
Right, and then of course, any president down the road would be affected by this as well, which makes this a very difficult decision. It is kind of interesting, the Supreme Court and their decisions not really going the way one would have thought they would have gone, right? This just goes to show, no matter who nominates a justice, you can't always count on their decisions coming the way you would like to see them come down the pike, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the case is. I think, the justices, even the conservative ones, were heavily in favor of the Mifepristone ruling, which pretty much allowed for that drug, the abortion pill, to be sold and to be delivered across the country still, despite the push to have it be restricted by pro-life groups. But then you have something like the bump stock ban, which was kind of ruled along what you would consider party lines for the Supreme Court, where you had most conservative justices saying, well, wait a minute, this needs to be something that's enacted by Congress, something similar to what they had with the Roe v. Wade ruling. And on the other hand, you had the liberal justices saying that, what the president should be allowed to do this.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on the issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's always interesting, the two sides will come out and criticize based on the decision, but then the minute there's a decision that they like, it's like, no, I guess they're okay. I guess they're all right.
Yeah. Or they'll use something along the lines of, oh, well, this was such a strong argument. It's no doubt that Thomas and Alito ruled that way, but they still need to have, they still should recuse themselves in this certain case and that certain case. I mean, you hear it quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly the courts, it's always been somewhat political, right? We'll say it isn't, but it always really has been. And you look at the justices, whether they're moderate, liberal, or conservative. We always have done it that way. But it does seem now where I think people are automatically expecting that the justices are going to decide based on politics. And they still do decide based on their interpretation of the law.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And we've had a couple cases that have been before the court that were, unanimous, despite the politics of it.
And then, so traditionally, will decisions come out on a Monday?
No. We're expecting this probably to go from Wednesday to Friday. So Wednesday's probably when we could start seeing these cases roll in. So wouldn't it be funny if we get one of these we get the Trump immunity
Thursday
case right before he goes before the debate stage. So yeah,
very interesting.
There's got some drama implications too.
All right, good stuff, Ryan. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. That debate, of course, is Thursday night on CNN. Ryan, as always, thank you. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Is it possible to drive an award-winning Mazda with 0% APR financing? You can find out at Steve Ponte Mazda. Drive a new 2024 Mazda CX-5 SE model for only $285 a month on a 36-month lease. Or you can save with 0% APR financing, 0% APR financing on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. See the dealership for details. As Rick always says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Let's face it, life can just get messy. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will take care of it for you. If you need help with clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts will handle it. We understand sometimes it's more than just a cleanout, it's an accumulation of someone's life. We go the extra mile to do the job with integrity, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
Summer is here, and it's time to fill your days with family fun. With the Seize the Deal 2024 Summer Fun Card, enjoy 9 amazing attractions at an unbeatable price for just $99. The Seize the Deal Summer Fun Card offers unique and exciting attractions for you and your family. 9 great summer adventures for only $99, including Copper City Billiards. Get 2 hours of table time for 4 players, plus $15 cafe credit. If you're looking for a fun night out, Copper City Billiards in Rome is where you need to be. Skate a while longer. Get admission for 4 people, including skate rental. Valid only Wednesday 7 to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday 7 to 10 p.m., Saturday and Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. Vista Lanes Bowling Center. Get 2 games for a group of 4 with shoes. For over 70 years, Vista Lanes Bowling Center has been the perfect place for birthdays and corporate parties. Make this summer one to remember and get over $600 in savings with the 2024 Summer Fun Card. Limited number available, so get yours now for just $99 at SeizeTheDeal.com.
Brunch at Babes is the only way to spend your weekend. Bottomless mimosas, Bloody Mary flights, classic breakfasts, and some new instant classics. Boozy brunch at Babes Saturday and Sundays from 9 to 2. Breakfast quesadillas, loaded avocado toast. Babes is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner with boozy brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit us at babesutica.com.
Making my way straight to Babes.
Scott Hayes here from New York Sash with my good friend Bill Keeler.
Hey, Scott, we love New York Sash windows so much that we're getting 4 more installed this month. How about we bring back the Win Keeler's Windows Contest?
Last year, we gave away 4 windows to a local homeowner. This year, we'll give away another 4, the same as we're installing for you, Bill.
Enter at NewYorkSash.com/Keeler or click on Keeler at WIBX950.com. No purchase necessary. We'll pick a winner at the end of June.
It's Win Keeler's Windows.
From New York Sash and WIBX.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, Andrew will do an update on the news a little bit. We'll talk just a little bit about the upcoming debate you're going to be watching on Thursday night. I find that there's a bit of a train wreck aspect to the debate Thursday.
Yes.
Do you feel that way?
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit. It kind of feels that way. Yeah. Okay. So that's Thursday night. We'll speak with somebody on it coming up in a little bit. I don't know if you saw this. The two porch pirates in Pennsylvania caught on camera racing to steal a package.
This is a crazy story.
Everything's on camera now because people have the
rings,
the Ring doorbell,
we have the blink,
or whatever. And the two that were trying to steal the package both came at the same time. Remember, they don't own the house. They're stealing the package, but they're fighting over it. The resident says one of them got away with a phone and says it's suspicious. They knew the phone was so valuable. Here is the police chief making no bones about it. Check out his statement.
To have these two scumbags come into our community and get into a potentially deadly altercation over stealing a package is unbelievable.
Yeah. And I lost 2 iPhones in an eBay deal.
You think it's from the eBay scam.
And they were stolen. They were stolen they were being sent overseas.
Yep.
They were stolen at the airport, at customs.
Wow.
So you could track it, and it got all the way to customs, and then all of a sudden just stalled there. The package never went anywhere from there. Somehow, because you got to think about it, when you're getting a delivery of a phone, chances are you're spending $1,000 on that phone. There's a pretty good value.
Yes, there is.
So I don't know if you were watching any of it. Davey said if you were in Rome yesterday, you didn't get to see it because the CBS affiliate WTVH in Rome broke away to talk about potential tornadoes, right? This was the golf event yesterday.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm just repeating what you said.
I don't know what I said.
The golf event yesterday.
Yeah.
Was canceled.
You didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
You didn't get to. You went back and later watched it.
Yes.
But it wasn't on TV because the Syracuse affiliate of CBS, which you get and we're watching.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. And you don't get the CBS Utica.
No, I don't.
You don't get that in Rome. Anyway, here's what went down. Scheffler and Tom Kim were neck and neck yesterday at the 18th hole of the Travelers Championship in Connecticut. When CBS returned from commercials, protesters ran onto the green with spray paint and were throwing flares.
Jeez.
Throwing flares.
That's
How did they get
stepping
them
it up
onto the property in the first place? Gotta wonder. Here's Jim Nantz making the call.
Oh, boy. We've got a whole group of protesters here. And they've been tackled on the ground, on the green. Police have responded quickly, but I see 4 protesters that have been handcuffed. They just came flying down the hill out of the gallery.
So I don't know what the protesters, maybe Davey can tell us. Do you think he'll?
Maybe.
All right, I'm going to check and see. Hold on.
You know what's funny is Kevin Harlan.
I'm wondering what the protesters were protesting because they're starting to yell out USA.
Right.
So was it an anti-U.S. thing? And Davey would have seen it. Hey, Davey, what were they, when you went back and watched it online, what exactly were they protesting?
I think the war in Israel.
It was
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Kevin Harlan, who does the play-by-play for NFL on the radio, he also will do CBS games on Sundays, does basketball. It would be entertaining to hear his rendition or play-by-play for the golf.
Yes, because he's very...
and they're the protesters, and they're coming down the line, they got spray paint.
Some of the protesters were wearing white T-shirts with the words "No Golf" on a dead planet in black lettering on the front.
Also, it was a climate thing.
Yeah.
No golf on a dead planet. Honestly, I mean, it's pretty environmentally friendly sport.
I would think, although
a lot of the carts gone electric now.
They probably use pesticides. Who knows? I don't know.
It could be. But they keep the lawns meticulous.
You know, those golf balls are probably, they don't like those.
No,
because playing with what? Acorns, maybe?
Green friendly.
I'm telling you. And then the State Department was doing a press conference. Matthew Miller interrupted his own press conference the other day by pointing out that there was a cockroach on the floor above a reporter's head.
Ew.
And he called it out. Here we go.
You've seen dramatic attacks targeting civilian communities. Matt, I hate to interrupt. There's a big cockroach on the wall over your head there. So I don't.
Ew, where was this?
As soon as you finish.
Yeah,
State Department.
I'm sorry to be distracted, but it's a rather large one.
Ew.
Do I have to get rid of it now?
No. Let me go ahead and finish. We've seen a dramatic increase in attacks across the border. I shouldn't have said anything because now the room's going to have a hard time focusing on the very important messages I have to deliver here.
Obvious distraction. Let the cockroach out. Let it loose.
Yeah. Okay. Well, apparently it was a very large cockroach. So,
Yuck.
Yeah. All right. Dan Snell is let's see. Expert of I do have it. Expert on politics and leadership. Is a big fan of the styles of Reagan and JFK. And we have a big debate coming up that happens on Thursday, as I said. I think a lot of people are looking based on
this is going to be must-see TV.
The potential of, train wreck must-see TV. I don't know. Dan, what do you think? What can we expect in your eyes coming up on Thursday?
Well, this is a big one. First off, good morning to you and all your listeners, Bill.
Good morning.
Yeah, this week, across the nation, I'm in Kansas. We're having the 100-degree weather, but I think this debate is going to be hotter than the weather across the country that we're sending your way. I expect this to be watched. I think people will pay attention, both those that are cheering for one side or the other, but also, more importantly, the independents, those middle people who are trying to decide which guy, which is the lesser of two evils, sometimes people say when you're an independent.
Do they exist, Dan? I mean, are there really that level of, or that significant amount of independent voters at this point who are undecided?
Well, I think that there are. They're just remaining quiet. I know that on the Republican side, Trump has his solid base and he's got them energized. But then there's that group I call the Bill Barr voters who are cautious about Trump getting reelected for certain reasons, but also then don't want another 4 years of the administration that we currently have and the policies that we currently have. And so I think people will pay attention. Both men could gain or they could slip with a moment. What will come out is what happens in the 4 or 5 one-liners or the punch lines that we'll hear about Friday all day and over the weekend. Like Ronald Reagan made famous, well, there you go again.
Yeah. And that was really good.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yes. If either one of these gentlemen could hearken back to Reagan, because people like Reagan, especially Republicans, it might be a win, because both of them have a tendency to go off in a direction that would be easy to use that line.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
It's amazing when you look back to the Kennedy-Nixon debate of the 1960 election, where TV first made a major impression on a debate. A lot of people felt that Nixon was sweating. Kennedy looked like he was, was handling things very well. But they said that on the radio, those who listened on the radio thought that Nixon won the debate. But those who watched on TV thought that Kennedy won the debate.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very interesting. But I'm not sure we're anywhere in a world like that today.
Yeah, well, I think we still are, because if you look at social media, like Kennedy was so telegenic and photogenic and had the energy and grabbed people in that smile or in those 3 to 7 seconds. And today, what do we watch on social media? We watch 3 seconds, 7 seconds, or 15-second video clip, and we make a judgment. And so I do think the countenance or the facial expressions of candidates can make a difference. Joe Biden struggles with at his age, if he sometimes looks like he's 80. years old. And
he looks like 101, I think.
Yeah. And sometimes Donald Trump has a scowl that I don't think wins him people that are looking for a more positive approach. So I still think that people make, sometimes wrongly, snap judgments instead of looking at the actual policies.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you going to do for the place we call home? And they should focus on that.
It is interesting, too. You got both sides crying that the other side is mentally unstable. Both sides are now saying that. But here you get them both on camera, and both are going to have to answer questions. It will be very interesting, I think, to see how they both react. And then after they probably perform better than most people think they're going to perform, we'll be out the next day, and everybody will be talking about, Biden was jacked up on, they're giving him some medicine. He looked way too, and then the same thing on Trump. But it is interesting how in the media we're hearing all of these accusations. Here is a place where you actually get to see them in real time for a much longer period.
Yeah, the whole, it's funny. We'll hear how many times convicted felon we'll hear this week, and then how many times we'll hear Biden's jacked up. He's jacked up on something. And in the case of Biden, I think he's got 40 plus years of being in this arena, and he can, and he'll be rested. And I do think, from a standpoint of the prep for this debate, that I do think there is a stronger case to be made for what Biden's doing, and that's gathering a room of creative, energetic, and having back and forth. That's where you come up with the one-liners, and that's where you come up with ideas. And Trump is good for the most part, but he won't have an audience that will feed his energy. So
that'll be interesting.
It's going to be great. Great night.
Yeah, I think I have to watch.
Oh, you have to watch. Yeah. Dan, are you surprised that this debate's even happening?
Well, I can't imagine a presidential election without debate. So I think it's going to happen. Because if there weren't debates, if either side would try to duck out, people would, find a way to spin. Again, it's all about that spin. They would spin it bad. And in this case, this could be an exciting Thursday night. If there is a big, huge stumble by President Biden, it possibly could change the whole who's going to be the candidate. I mean, if he were to stumble, he might be that White House fireside chat saying, I've decided that it's time for the Democratic Party to nominate at the convention a different person for president.
Boy, could you imagine? Yeah, it would be.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But I don't know. This year, I don't know that I will be surprised. It'll be shocking, but I don't know if I would be surprised at anything. To be honest with you. So, all right, good conversation, Dan. Thank you. We'll be watching Thursday night.
Great to be with you.
Right,
okay, stay winsome. Stay winsome.
Yes, okay. Have a wonderful day. It's been a long time since Thursday night has been must-see TV. Used to be must-see TV, if you remember.
I am definitely going to be watching this thing.
You got to watch. You got to watch. It's 8:39. Hold on. We'll come back and wrap it up.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for the past 52 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingsshedsantique.com.
The Utica Center for Development wants you to join the City of Utica's Independence Day Parade, sponsored by Mastrovito Hyundai. Register for the parade, have fun, build a float, or just walk and show community support on July 4th. To register for the parade or to be a vendor for the 4th of July party in the park, sign up today at ucdevelopment.org. The City of Utica parades are brought to you by the Utica Center for Development, Mastrovito Hyundai, Bank of Utica, and Save the Day Foundation.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Andrew loves this one. You sing along with it. And a home in San Francisco is being sold at a deep discount of just under $500,000, but you cannot move until 2053. So I was kind of. Have you ever seen a stipulation like this?
I have not
on a home.
I've seen extended closing dates before.
Sounds to me like somebody needs some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they came up with this brilliant idea.
Yeah, no.
Now, you do realize 2053 is 29 years from now.
Yeah.
Did I do the math right?
I think so.
24, 34, 44. Yeah, something like that. Basically, you'd purchase the home. It would come with a long rental lease for tenants already living in the home. And here's a neighbor giving a quick breakdown on how this would actually work.
The new owner would have to buy the house subject to a very long rental lease that is currently being offered to an individual.
Okay. Have you ever...
So what's the price?
In your real estate, River Hills world... $500,000.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
actually
for
the price
San Francisco's cheap.
The price is $488,000. So it's basically half price.
That's nuts.
And you get a rental deal.
So I don't
think they pay rent. I think you're basically getting.
You're getting the rent?
I don't know. No. I guess
that's
be paying
the scam
rent.
of it. Yeah, because so it's almost essentially like a lease to own situation. They're paying rent, which is the equivalent of your paying interest only, and then you've got to balloon the 488 probably at the end of the 29 years. I don't know.
I find this very
seems scamish to me.
There is a story out there that we've been following for the last few days. It's been in the New York Post, and. The Mannion campaign, this is about Mannion.
Yep.
The Mannion campaign saying this is a hit job and this is none of this is true. It's being done at the last minute because he is in this big race with another Democrat. And the primary, of course, is tomorrow. What do we know except for former staffers are saying that it was a horrible work environment to work for Senator Mannion?
Yeah, I did reach out to his camp to try to see if maybe he'll come on. Obviously, he's insanely busy leading up to tomorrow's primary.
Well, I can't imagine he wants to really come on and talk about it.
No, but they being his campaign, maintain that this is simply a smear campaign on behalf of Sarah Clee Hood and her run for the seat.
So,
or her running for the nomination to run for the seat.
A lot of the complaints are coming from they're saying the two, both Mannion and his wife, they're claiming are very homophobic. So a lot of these complaints from, quote, several staff members coming from those in the LGBTQ community. Plus community. Is that true?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
At least as far as this letter goes. Greeley messaging in this morning quickly. How you doing, buddy? He says, all I've heard everyone up here talk about is the heat. We had to go to Walmart this morning to buy long work pants. Can't believe how cold it is. The rain kind of hurts. Well, Greeley, of course, you come the one day that we dropped to 72 degrees when it's been
it felt
Florida-like last week.
We've kind of felt like Florida-like weather.
Yeah.
Welcome home, Greeley.
Other comments, Conservative John in Boonville. God forbid we have any men's only spaces. I think this is a comment that came in that I missed when Donna Donovan was on. I guess everyone can have their own spaces and exclude you as long as you're a straight white male. I think it's a little different.
That's a little bit different, but okay. All right. You can still the bathroom. Oh, that's not the case either.
Right.
These days.
You can't exclude bathrooms either.
Okay. All right. Michigan State Representative Neil Frisk is being looked at. He's facing charges after allegedly chasing an adult dancer following a disagreement, and a gun was shot. A gun was fired. The dancer may have worked at the strip club Deja Vu. Here is the Deja Vu Club assistant manager commenting on what allegedly occurred.
I hope that everybody involved is safe because, again, it's, what's going on is absolutely a tragedy.
Coming up this week, Herkimer Diamonds is back on national television.
They love the international and national community loves Herkimer Diamonds.
They do. So they will be tonight on the West Coast. Actually, it'll be available here, but it'll be late at night between 1 and 2 a.m. And you say, why would you do that? Well, come back up 3 or 4 hours, and you're hitting the West Coast basically in prime time. So that is why that happened. That way, that happens. And then tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and then Thursday again in the afternoon, they'll be on the Home Shopping Network selling their jewelry made from Herkimer Diamonds. And it is amazing the promotion that ends up happening right here locally because of all of that.
Correct.
It's pretty cool.
Do you want another comment? This is from Lance and Lee. Andrew, good to see you made it back. The portion of Friday you deleted was my personal favorite part of your show. It was nice to see your unfiltered opinion on things. The show needs much more of that in the future. Then he said I must be blocked, thinking I wasn't going to read the comment. I just didn't get around to it yet. I really don't know what to say about that.
So,
other than we were having YouTube issues, and yes, there were some things that, well, I don't know. How do you want to handle that? I mean, there were some things that were said that I did not want to be recreated for the sake of my swearing. This is a family program. And there was, yes, I was in a conversation I thought was between Bill and I, said some things that were critical of...
well, you're saying more than I would even say, but go ahead. Keep going.
Well, I just don't want Lance and Lee to think that I don't have integrity. So there was some things I said that were critical in the moment of Mr. Galimi's chief of staff. That was that.
Okay.
But the reason I deleted it was there was comments that came in from people that I did not know if they wanted read on the air. And there was some swearing that went on. So I felt it was in the best interest of this program for that to be deleted.
In fact, you demanded it to be deleted. Yeah. Okay. But Lance heard it.
But yes, and yes, some of it was.
So what was
some of it was insulting to Lance, which I'm not apologetic about. But yes, that was something that came up.
What was occurring is instead of taking the audio from the radio, the YouTube was for some reason taking audio from the cameras
or the computer itself,
or the computer. I don't even know which. So when we went to commercial break, Andrew and you were talking very loudly. That
as I tend to be
very loudly. That all ended up on YouTube. So can you go back and listen to it now? No, it's kind of been deleted.
Unless Lance and Lee reveals who he is and releases a copy of the footage that he recorded.
Star Wars fans wage war over character birth date change. Did you see this? Not going to come as a shock to diehard Star Wars fans, but some of the classic Star Wars went out and were very upset with Disney over the franchise. The latest example of this caused by a bit of a war between fans after one character's Wikipedia page was altered. Changing the age of one. I think the problem, this is a ridiculous story, but I think it's because they're trying to get some press around Star Wars. The problem is there are so many of these Star Wars offshoot episodes. I think when a Star Wars comes out, do you watch any Star Wars? Did you care?
I don't, but I spoke to...
when one comes out, nobody cares anymore because they
so
just oversaturated the market.
I spoke to a guy who is a certified closer, so he works for different lenders and will go to closings on their behalf. He's a notary and stuff like that. This guy was a huge Star Wars fan, so I asked him, I said, are you a big fan of any of the new stuff? He says he likes the Mandalorian stuff, the new series that just came out, starts with an A.
Yeah.
He wasn't a fan.
Not
he
so
couldn't
much.
get into
Okay.
that.
All right. If you're happy in a relationship, it shouldn't be anybody else's business. What sports celebrity would say something like that? Well, of course, it'd be Bill Belichick.
Right.
So Belichick has a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's 72. Should anybody really care? So
Well, they do, because that's all it's been in my
everybody's
feed.
talking about it. Anyway, according to TMZ, they have revealed that this Jordan Hudson, who is beautiful, she is the new
former cheerleader
girlfriend of Belichick. She's 24 years old. Apparently, this is not her first run up the senior citizen ladder, or her first time walking in a mall, doing a mall walk.
Is that right?
I don't know.
It's a good way to describe it.
Anyway, she, previous to Bill Belichick, she was dating, this must have been about a year and a half, 2 years ago. She was dating a 64-year-old man.
Hey, she likes older men.
So when she was 23, she was dating a 64-year-old man. His name is Joshua Zuckerman. And he's proud to say, yeah, she was my girlfriend. Several years ago.
Bill stole her from me.
Bonded with her over psychology. It said several years ago. How long could it be? I mean, I wouldn't. She's 24. So it couldn't be any more than 6 years ago, right? The relationship did become romantic, he said. Zuckerberg felt the need to rush to Hudson's defense after haters have lashed out accusing her of being a gold digger. He says she is not. She just enjoys more mature men.
You don't say.
And she is quite beautiful. And there's a college football battle going on out there that is not about college football. It's a competition between schools as to which one has the lowest game day beer prices. It is not the Dome.
No, it is not. It's got to be in Atlanta somewhere.
A recent graphic was posted online showing the prices at various college football stadiums, which has fans buzzing. In Oregon, for example, fans were wondering where exactly in the stadium those $5 beers were. Seeing TCU and Tulane at the bottom with $3 beers didn't sit well with competing schools, so they're now competing. The University of Louisiana stepped up by saying they are going to start selling $2 Natty Lights. Light beers.
Yeah, well, that's
$2 light beers.
So they're paying $2 to hydrate.
We're not done yet. Tulane says they're going to move their price to $1. You'll be able to get $1 beer. Wow. So you're going to have some rowdy fans. $1 beers at Tulane games. I don't know how many people go to Tulane games, but $1 beers is what they're talking about. So there you have it. Tell you about River Hills Properties, the #1 independent real estate agent in all of upstate New York. Why is that? It's the services provided. Everything from the fact that your listing agent is there every time the house is shown to the book. And Andrew, the book is really a handbook for the home, an owner's manual, if you will.
That's what it becomes.
Of the home. Everything from the layout, the floor plan, to whenever improvements were made, warranties, etc., etc. It's all there, and it's every time the house is shown. Each person that looks at the home gets to go home with a book. If you ultimately buy it, you now have the manual for the home. It's River Hills Properties in Barneville, Little Falls, Rome, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Remember their TV show, Sold in upstate New York. You can see it now on YouTube.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event at Destination Kia of Utica.
With no money down leases on over 400 new Kias in stock.
Like a new 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 39 miles per gallon highway for only $298 a month for 36 months.
With 0 down, 0 due at inception, and sales tax included.
And if you're a military veteran, get a $500 military rebate on any new Kia.
Now that's kooky.
Make that short drive and save on over 400 new Kias in one location.
So go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
2024 Kia Forte LXS, S number 24F0710, MSRP $21,820, 36 months, 30,000 mile lease, 20 cents per mile over, $0 due to inception, $0 security deposit, 8.75% sales tax, and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure, $400 disposition fee, 720 plus FICO score, EPA rating. Offer expires 7/1/2024. Military DD 214 or LES required. Offer expires 7/1/2024.
Why is Navage perfect for allergy sufferers? Rhino Systems Medical Director Dr. Howard Levine explains.
If someone's exposed to allergens, they can get rid of those immediately by washing out the nose. Navage works by pulling saline in one nostril, through the nose and out the other nostril, sucking out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs. Experience on-the-spot relief so you could breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier.
Navage is available at Sam's Club, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or online at Navage.com. Navage, breathe easy.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Krispies. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, coming up in a few minutes, Brian Kilmeade following the news, which we'll do top of the hour. Did you see the story out of officers involved in a fatal one? Was there I can't find the story anywhere. 2 officers, a gun went off. Was it in Watertown, New York, where a gun went off inside the police station?
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
I can't find the story. I sometimes wonder if I dream these things up. If I, like in the middle of the night, I'm having this dream, and I wake up and think that it's really real.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere. But I cannot. I've been searching for that story all day today. Can't find it anywhere. And I thought it was in the Watertown area. Maybe I'm just dreaming it up.
Dreaming.
Some comments this morning. At least Belichick's girlfriend didn't give Kraft a massage.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. We have our winner of the pool chemicals and supplies from Tucker Pools and Spas. Very cool. That's all set, I believe. We're working on that. And in Rome, it's not Biden's age, it's his mental state. 124 days till I can vote for Trump.
Yeah, she's very excited about it.
She's really all in. And they were, by the way, that protest that happened at the PGA golf tournament, it was climate protesters.
Mm.
I'm not sure why they started yelling out USA, but maybe it's because the cops came in and just took them out.
Yeah.
I really would have to ask you, though, how did they get flares in? Which are basically explosives, right? News is next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's been 2 years. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It was on this day, 2022, when the Supreme Court overruled Roe v. Wade with a new abortion ruling, undoing a woman's federal right, allowing states to ban abortions. And President Biden's campaign has a new ad just out attacking Republicans on women's rights.
Roe is just the beginning. They're going to try to ban the right to choose nationwide. They're coming for IVF and birth control next.
Former President Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara, Republican National Committee co-chair, tells Fox,
"This is just about the only thing the Democrats think they
can run on this election cycle. I think Donald Trump will have a great response for it.
The former president maintains abortion should be up to the states to decide, and that'll likely be a topic Thursday in the CNN presidential debate. President Biden's prepping now at Camp David. Boeing could soon land in federal court.
U.S. prosecutors have reportedly made the recommendation to senior Department of Justice officials for criminal charges. That, according to Reuters, which says the recommendation comes after officials in May said Boeing violated a settlement related to 2 737 MAX jet fatal crashes that killed hundreds.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Those crashes were overseas in 2018 and 19. A terror attack in Russia has left 19 people dead, including a church pastor and police officers in the predominantly Muslim region of Dagestan. The Islamic militant attackers were killed and returned fire. In the war against Ukraine, Russia's vowing to retaliate to a missile strike.
The Kremlin says U.S.-supplied ATACMS missiles were used to strike Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula illegally annexed by Russia in 2014. We're told 4 people were killed and over 150